Welcome to this week's episode of The Breakdown. I'm Mike.
And I'm Austin.
And to give you all a little preview of what we'll be talking about on today's show, got to be talking about the national championship. What a crazy finish. And what we're talking about is Nick Saban, the greatest football coach of all time. And then the NFL, we'll be talking about the previous playoff games that just happened. And of course, we're obviously going to be talking about give our predictions for this week's game. And we got to talk about Jon Gruden is back in the NFL. So, I mean, to start the show off, man, what a national championship.
What a game, huh?
It was a good game. It's hard to be a Georgia fan.
I kind of feel like a magician just pulled a rabbit out of the hat after what happened, man. And the rabbit being Tua Tagovailoa.
What a ballsy decision. Well, I mean, that was a great coaching decision to put in Tagovailoa. That's just a great football coach move to Jalen Hurts, he got you here, but I mean, you could just see he wasn't getting it done against Georgia's defense.
The tail of the game, Georgia dominated the first half. Georgia's a great football team. Give them a lot of credit. They came a long way this season. But, man, Alabama coming back. That offense really gave them a spark. Got the true freshman, 5-star, Tua Tagovailoa from from Hawaii. And, comes in the game and just instant switch.
He threw 3 touchdown passes.
Yeah, he was fantastic.
Yeah, he was fantastic. You could just tell Georgia, they prepared for Jalen Hurts. They didn't prepare for Tagovailoa.
Like if you watch the game, Tagovailoa he's a mobile quarterback just like Jalen Hurts, but his footwork was what impressed me for a freshman. I mean, this kid had NFL type footwork, and it was unbelievable the way he was. They have pressure coming from Georgia, who put pressure on the quarterback all game. But for him to be able to step up and make those guys move, miss, not only being a runner, but he showed some real pocket awareness and ability to step up and still look down the field and make good throws.
Yeah, because Georgia's front seven is right there with Alabama's, like talent-wise.
Yeah, talent-wise, absolutely.
He was able to maneuver, and then he avoided tons of sacks. So, I mean, he was phenomenal. And Jalen Hurts I think he lost the starting job for the future.
I think he's going to transfer. I think this game right here lived up to the hype. I think, Jalen Hurts has done a great job for Alabama, but they found their quarterback of the future. Tua Tagovailoa is going to be the guy next year. And I just feel like Jalen Hurts, does he want to sit behind him or maybe does he change positions? I don't know. Maybe he's a very athletic guy.
Maybe switches to running back.
Yeah, I can see it happening.
He's a great runner.
But if he wants to play quarterback, I see him making a change, making a transfer.
Yeah, if he wants to be, it's kind of like a Tim Tebow situation almost. If he wants to play Division I college football, the type of player he'd be good at a Georgia Tech.
I think he could be he'd be a Division I quarterback. I think he can go somewhere, in Pac-12 or somewhere like that, and be a very good quarterback.
Let me take that comment back because he got them to the national championship.
Yeah, he's a decent quarterback. He's just not a game changer. He's a game manager, not a game changer.
Yeah, I agree. Tagovailoa, you could tell he's the right guy for that offense.
Yeah, he's the real deal. Great job by Nick Saban. Like you said at the beginning of the segment, man. To make that decision. It's really
that's a game-changing
It's a game decision, and to make it a national championship game, it shows how much confidence he had in the true freshman.
Oh, exactly. He even said before the game, he's like, we're confident if we need to put Tagovailoa in. He said it at the beginning of the game, and he backed it up. He wasn't lying. So, props to Alabama. They played. That was one heck of a comeback. Georgia played tough.
With the comeback and everything, I got to ask you. You're a Georgia fan. Do you feel like Georgia lost this game, or did Alabama just come, make bigger plays and win it?
I think Alabama just won it because I think Georgia. This is not. There's no excuse in the national championship. But Georgia, they prepared for Jalen Hurts, and they were shutting him down, and then they quarterback change, and then they're basically on the fly, trying to figure out what this guy could do and everything.
I think another big part of this game, like you said, is they didn't really prepare for Tagovailoa. They come out first half 13-0. They're playing really well. A lot of energy coming from that Georgia football team, especially that defensive line and that front seven. And I think as the game moved on though, and Alabama made their little run to get back in the football game, Georgia kind of felt like, kind of letting it slip away, and the momentum of the game changed. Yeah. Where Alabama being in this situation the last 2 seasons, having guys on their team that are experienced and know what it's like to play in a national championship game, and Georgia having a lot of young guys, I think it really affected them in a negative way because Georgia was kind of like, man, what do? We don't know what to do. How do we, combat this offensive attack from Alabama? And Alabama was just like, we've been here before. We've done this. Let's just go out there and win this football game. And that's what they did.
Yep, that's exactly what they did. So kudos to Alabama. And a lot of NFL talent only both these teams, and I'm sure we see a lot of these guys on Sundays, and I'm sure we see these two teams playing good football for definitely years to come.
I think Georgia's gonna be back. I think they're gonna be back. I think next year you're gonna have a good football team.
I mean, they have the number one recruiting class. So
Exactly.
This moment.
And for years to come, Kirby Smart's building a really good program. Look for this game to be a rematch in SEC championship games to come.
Oh, I agree. You might see this as a key matchup every year type thing for a few years.
Might become a little rivalry in the SEC.
Oh, absolutely. But I feel like we got to talk about it after Nick Saban just tied Bear Bryant for the most national championships. Is he the greatest football coach ever?
I'm gonna say, man, when you say that, I've thought about this a lot. Over the past few days, you got Belichick in the NFL, and Bear Bryant, of course, and then you have Nick Saban. I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say I know he didn't have a lot of success at the NFL level, but some different factors really played into that stint that he had in Miami. Like we talk about all the time. If Drew Brees goes to Miami, is he still in the NFL? You know what I'm saying? So. I just think, they had some poor management decisions with the acquisition of Dante Culpepper, and I just think he couldn't really get a lot going. And plus, his disciplinary, he's more of a disciplinary coach, and it didn't really fit well at that time in the NFL. And I do believe that if he were to go back in the NFL at this stage in his career, he would have more success, even though he's not, because he's obviously, he's 66 years old. I don't see him ever going back, but I think he is the best coach of all time. What he's done at Alabama has been unprecedented. I feel like I'm witnessing history every time I watch this team win another national championship, and it's incredible to watch as a sports fan.
I'm gonna go with no, but
you don't think so?
He's the greatest college football coach of all time,
so
hands down.
You're saying Belichick.
I'm saying Belichick's the greatest NFL coach of all time. I mean, it's easy to think like, oh, Belichick goes to college and do the same thing.
Well, who's the best football coach of all time though? If he's not Nick Saban, is it Belichick?
I would say so, just because it's the NFL.
Yeah.
It's professionals. I guess by default, then yes, I would say Belichick. Nick Saban he was in the NFL and didn't have success. Now, if he goes back to the NFL, I don't think he is. But if he were and would have success, yes, absolutely, because he proved he can win on both levels. But he'd have to go and show that to me.
I think my argument would be Nick Saban in college football, the coach is like the GM, and you have to do a lot of recruiting. You're building that program from the ground up. Whereas in the NFL, you have guys that make that decision for you, and your job is to coach the team. So my argument would be like Nick Saban, he has to go out there and get these guys and get them to believe in coming to Alabama. And right now, it's easy. You come to Alabama, you play in the NFL, you're going to win a national championship at some point during your 4 years, so it's an easy pitch. But at the beginning of his tenure at Alabama, you got to get those guys to believe in what you're doing and get them to buy in. And I think that's what separates him away from other coaches.
I know he's phenomenal, and that's why I think he's the greatest college coach of all time. But you gotta think Belichick, he's also the GM of the Patriots.
Now he is.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's what I'm saying though, and he's still successful.
I see it both ways. That would be my argument to the Belichick thing.
For me, Nick Saban would just have to go to the NFL again and show me that he could have success at the NFL level.
So here's a question: do you think if he wins another two national championships before he retires, is he the greatest coach?
If he wins 2 or 3, it's gonna be hard to. But what if Belichick wins 2 or 3?
Well, no, obviously if Belichick wins 2 or 3,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So this argument's gonna be going on until both of them retire.
It's like Michael Jordan versus LeBron.
Yes, that's gonna be a conversation that never ends.
Yeah.
Until LeBron retires, we really won't know the answer to that question. Personally,
the answer is very simple. It's Michael Jordan.
I think it's Michael Jordan. LeBron does things that Michael Jordan can't do, but Michael Jordan was just, when he got in his zone, he was killer.
The reason why Michael Jordan is the best of all time is 6
in a row.
It's a number 6. That's
3
it.
In a row,
6-0.
Retired, came back, and then won 3 more in a row.
What's LeBron? LeBron's 2 and what? 7? 2 and 5?
2 and 3.
Oh, he
had 2 in Miami.
Yeah, he has 3, so he's 3 and 5, 3 and 6, something like that. He's been to 9 straight though.
You gotta think just being a 9 straight is great.
Yeah.
It's hard to go to 9 straight finals.
Michael Jordan.
I think I'm not arguing. I'm just saying it's great to. When you go to 9 straight finals, you're a great player.
I don't think it's exactly. What is it? Is it 7?
It's 7 or 8.
It's 7 or 8. Yeah.
LeBron James is without a doubt one of the top 5 greatest players of all. Probably top 3.
Oh, he's definitely top 5, but I have Kobe ahead of him.
I would say top 3. Kobe.
This is a conversation that could go on and on.
Yeah,
could go forever.
Kobe did things. LeBron as an athlete is better than both of those
LeBron's
players.
the best physical specimen that's ever played, any
He's a guy,
sport.
you look
to
at
me.
him and you're like, you could play in the NFL.
Yeah, he could play in the NFL. But back in Michael Jordan's days, guys didn't train like they do now. So
no, exactly.
It's a different league.
Michael Jordan might be just like LeBron if he had all this training and stuff that
It
they have
could have
today.
been. Could have been.
But
That's an argument
I
for,
would-
for another show.
I agree. MJ is better than LeBron, but I mean LeBron is without a doubt great. But
Over here talking about Nick Saban, we got on
I know
topic
we
of
got
Michael
to
Jordan and
MJ versus
LeBron.
LeBron. But I mean, I feel like all right, moving on to the big boys NFL. I mean, we gotta talk about the previous playoff games that just happened this past week. I feel like the first game we talked about is how the Tennessee Titans came back on the Chiefs. Way to go, Andy Reid. You're a stud in the playoffs.
Look, man, let me explain something to you. This Kansas City Chiefs team, I have had enough. I'm not even a fan of the Kansas City Chiefs. I've had enough. Every year at the beginning of the season, I'm like, man, this is gonna be the year for Kansas City to be good. They're gonna, go far in the playoffs, look like a contender, and then you know what happens?
They lose in the first round.
They lose in the first round.
You know what I'll never forget? That Colts game. a few
Oh,
years
okay, when they
ago.
blew the 28-point lead?
Yeah, that was terrible.
Unbelievable. Look, this team has too much talent to do this. I don't know what the problem is in Kansas City. I don't know if it's coaching. I've always liked Andy Reid. I don't know if it's Alex Smith that's the problem. But this team just can't find success at the end of the season. They look great early on, and then they choke down the stretch. It's awful.
Started out 5-0 and finished 10-6.
Yeah, awful. It's terrible. It's whatever is going on, they need to figure it out because Kansas City Chiefs fans deserve more. They're playing with their emotions. It's like, man, we're going to be a Super Bowl
And
team
every
this
year
year.
they have one of the highest selling crowds, one of the loudest crowds in all
Oh,
the
their
NFL.
stadium's fantastic. That's one of the
Do you
places
think
I would
they-
like to go.
Do you think they need to make a coaching change?
Man, I would give him one more year. I would give him one more because
Well, 'cause I think Patrick Mahomes is going to be the quarterback.
I feel
next
like
year.
you give him Patrick Mahomes, him and Patrick Mahomes one season, and if it doesn't work out and you have same type of problem, move on.
Then it's Andy Reid's fault. But if Patrick Mahomes, like, say they win one playoff game next year, then you could be like, oh, well, maybe it was Alex Smith.
I mean, it's hard to say it's Alex Smith though. 'Cause
No,
Alex Smith.
I think it's a combination of both.
It could be Alex Smith, but when you look at his stats, his statistics off on the field, this guy's one of the most efficient passers in the NFL this year, and he just couldn't get it done in the playoffs.
Yeah. His stats weren't that bad for this past game either. I mean, it's just the second half, though. He went to, like, he just...
Oh yeah, I think he had
Yeah.
the most passing yards by a quarterback in the playoffs in the first half.
Yeah,
he
he
was like tied for or something like that, the record.
And in the second half, he just...
Yeah, he
he didn't exist. The whole Chiefs offense didn't exist.
Yeah.
Tennessee's defense just shut them down.
It's funny
in the
because
second half.
Tennessee to me is not a good football team. I think they're going to get throttled by
They're
the
going to get
Patriots.
throttled by the Patriots, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I feel like another game I really want to talk about is, like, I think the Jaguars-Bills game might be the worst playoff game I've ever watched.
That was ugly.
That was a terrible game to watch.
It was like watching, two college quarterbacks go at it. I mean, these guys
Division II quarterbacks.
Yeah, these guys were terrible. Yeah, Blake Bortles missing screen passes and stuff. I know he had 10
There
carries
was
for
one
88
situation
yards.
where he
but-
missed two straight plays, and they were both just simply 5 yards away, and he missed them. I'm like, you're an NFL quarterback. How do you miss? I understand you missed one. All right,
right.
you have one slip up, and then the play right after, you do it again.
I mean, these are easy passes. You're an NFL quarterback. This guy was drafted top 10, and you're telling me you can't make these throws? This is unacceptable. I feel bad for this Jaguars team. I feel bad for their fans because this guy's holding them back. They have a great running game. You got Leonard Fournette, who missed several games this year and still had 1,000 yards on the season. You got a great defense. That front seven's unbelievable. You got Miles Jack, Calais Campbell playing great football up front, and then you have the two best cornerbacks in the NFL with A.J. Bowie, not the two best cornerbacks, but the best cornerback duo with A.J. Bowie and Jalen Ramsey. This team is built to be a contender, and they just don't have a quarterback. This guy's holding them back.
Blake Bortles was going to hold them back from ever winning a championship.
I want to pick them to beat the Steelers, but I don't want to. But I can't because of Blake Bortles. It's unbelievable.
You don't know which Blake Bortles is going to show up.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Their defense is Super Bowl worthy. They can win a Super Bowl right
Blake
now.
Bortles he had like 80 yards passing.
It's
How do you do that?
Unacceptable. Now I know he did have a good running game, so at least he had an impact on the game in some fashion. But man, you gotta get a grip.
He had a
bro.
touchdown pass too, but still, it's like, dude, you got to play better, man. This is the playoffs. You got to be tough. Show some resilience and play. I mean, dude, get your head on straight, man.
That's what I'm saying, dude. This is where legends are born. This is where guys play their best football. Joe Flacco earned himself a $100 million contract in the
'Cause
playoffs.
he won a Super Bowl.
Exactly. So this guy, look, man, you gotta put this team. You're the leader of this team as a
I'm pretty
quarterback.
sure he's a free agent after this
And
year.
I'm not saying, dude, you don't have to go out there and be Aaron Rodgers, but man, go out there and just manage the game and play good.
Your defense is the most talented defense in the league.
And you don't need to
Just
make
manage
plays.
the game.
And Leonard Fournette's going to get 25 carries per game. This is the playoffs. They're going to feed him the rock. You got Chris Ivory's going to get a couple carries. So all you got to do is make plays when they actually make plays. And he's just not doing it right now.
No, he's not. I mean, definitely. I'm pretty sure he's a free agent after this year. They might need to want to think about addressing this situation in the draft, possibly.
Yeah, or maybe like a Kirk Cousins.
Maybe, dude, maybe.
You know,
Maybe.
I mean, I'm just throwing out names. Or maybe
money-wise, I don't know if they can afford it. You know, they paid all those guys on defense.
you know a name that just came in my head too. You got Tom Coughlin as the GM, Eli Manning,
Maybe
Eli
Maybe.
Manning, possible. I'm just throwing it out
Maybe the
there.
Giants cut him and he comes. Or
You heard it here first. Eli Manning, quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars next year. I'm making a prediction.
We'll
Bold
see.
prediction, baby.
We shall see.
You know what game I really want to talk about? I know you want to talk about it too.
I'm ready.
Falcons, Rams. How about the Falcons, boy?
Dude, they dominated the game.
Tell me how you feel.
I said on last week's show that the Rams were too young and they were going to show that they were too young in this game. Boy, was I right.
Yep.
You just could tell
Absolutely.
they were making young mistakes. With the Falcons, they weren't flashy. But they played like a team. Like, look, we've been in the playoffs. We know what we got to do. Just play our football, play good defense, and do enough on offense. Yes, it was not a flashy win. Matt Bryant kicked. I want to say it was 4 field goals that he kicked. I mean, that's not flashy win in football. But hey,
I mean, I scored 26 points though.
Oh, exactly. That's what I'm saying. The offense did enough. We drove on them every day. Field goals are like I said, this is a young team. If you just keep putting points on them every drive, you're going to win the football, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And the Falcons have a top 10 defense.
The thing that to me is most impressive, and I just want to hear your take on it, dude. The Rams' offense is ridiculous, and they gave up 13 points. The Falcons' defense gave up 13 points to Sean McVay. Sean McVay, how you feeling, buddy?
I feel great, man.
Keanu O'Neal, Vic Beasley.
We shut down the best offense in the league.
I'm hyped. Exactly.
I'm hyped up about that.
Yeah.
That's like a great thing to see from our defense. It's not like we won 28-27. No. We held them to 13 points. We full on. Sean McVay, you just got shut down by the Atlanta Falcons. But I do think this is just a young team. The Rams will be better.
The Rams are going to be back.
They will build on this, and they will be back next year, I think.
I think this Rams team is going to win a Super Bowl and within the next 5 years. I just feel like they have a lot going
You know
for
what I was
them.
most pleased with? Robert Woods.
Oh, Robert Woods is great.
He looked like a number one receiver in that game.
Yeah. I mean, Jared Goff is looking like he's the number one overall pick. This team has a lot of potential, and like I said, I think they're going to win a Super Bowl in the next 5 years.
That's a good prediction. I can see it. They have, with Wade Phillips as the D coordinator, they have the offensive genius and Sean McVay as the head coach.
They're fine. They're fine,
but you can just tell the Falcons were a more experienced team.
And the Falcons were hungry.
Oh, they wanted to show everybody, look, we didn't just barely get to the playoffs. We deserve to be here. We're going to show everybody why we deserve to be here. And that's a great win for the Falcons, and I'm very looking forward to this week against the Eagles. But I know that this is the game you really want to talk about. How about the New Orleans Saints?
Let me get a who dat, baby. Who dat? Who dat say they going to beat them Saints? Boy, I love my boys, huh? How about that, man? Had my blood flowing for a little bit, though. My blood pressure got up a little bit. I was at home with my family watching the game, and man, everybody was like, "Man, you kind of yelling a lot lately." Man, I was on pins and needles. Well, I think whole fourth quarter I was on the floor. It was unbelievable. But man, gotta give it to the Saints, man. Showed a lot of resiliency with this Carolina Panthers team. You knew they were gonna make a run. I gotta give props to Cam Newton though. He tried to put the team on his back, just not enough weapons around him. But man, I'm ready for this game on Sunday. Saints Vikings rematch of Week 1. I think the Saints are gonna play a lot better than they did at that point, and I'm just excited about New Orleans football. Even it's for me as a fan. I think a lot of people in New Orleans need to realize, look, this game, Sunday is not going to be about, the Saints winning and moving on the playoffs, which I think everybody would love. It would be great for them to do that. But for me, as a fan, and I hope a lot of people here feel the same way, I'm just glad to see the Saints playing in January. I mean, this hasn't happened in 3 years.
Yeah, it's a great feeling.
This team is young. They're going to be back here for more years to come. Drew Brees is playing good football with the running game that we have. I think he can play 3 or 4 seasons. I just think that, whatever the result is in this game, I'm not worried about it because I think this team is hungry. They're young. They have a lot of guys in this team that are going to be around for years to come, and they're going to be a playoff team for future seasons. And I'm just excited about the next couple years for Saints football, and I think the rest of New Orleans should be as well.
I was very pleased with Drew Brees' performance. He had a Drew Brees type game.
Look,
376 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had a great game. And, dude, Michael Thomas, what a stud. 8 catches, 131 yards. He's like, give me the freaking ball.
Yeah.
He was great. I mean, that's what you want from your number one receiver. He was like, give me the ball. I'm going to help this offense get the ball moving up the field.
And like I said, man, for this team, you got Alvin Kamara, Mark Ingram. Everybody knows about it. And throughout this whole season, they've been pounding the football and changed their philosophy on offense. And you really haven't seen Drew Brees, win a game yet this season. And Carolina Panthers said, well, you know what? We're going to stack the box and make Drew Brees beat us. Well, Carolina, I think that was pretty stupid. This guy has won a Super Bowl. His name is Drew Brees. If you don't know him, watch the game film from Sunday night's game. This guy is still Drew Brees, still able to make plays, Hall of Fame quarterback. Do not stack the box against this team. He proved that he can still win games, and look for him to make plays against Minnesota as well.
Yeah, Cam Newton just doesn't have enough weapons around him.
Yeah, that's all.
They need to address that in the offseason. The guy needed some weapons to help him. I mean, Funches is the number 2 receiver. He's not number 1. McCaffrey's a great receiving back, but you need more weapons.
They need more weapons, and I think trading Kelvin Benjamin really hurt them in this game. They had a couple plays that receivers didn't make down the field. I know they had a missed touchdown pass in the first quarter. Cam Newton put a ball right on the money. It was a tough catch, but you got to come down with it. I think another play towards the end of the game on that last drive, Cam Newton kind of threw it was similar to like a Hail Mary, but it wasn't really a Hail Mary play where Devin Funchess just didn't really make an effort to go after the football, and Von Bell was out of position, so he should have caught that. If Kelvin Benjamin would have made that play, it would have been a touchdown. So Carolina just needs to address that situation in the offseason, get more weapons around Cam Newton, and get him some receivers to take the pressure off.
Yeah, with their defense and everything, they'll be flirting with the playoffs for a good while. They just need to put some weapons around Cam Newton, and they'll be fine.
Yeah, I think a guy I want to talk about, I just want to give him some recognition because I feel like, he definitely deserves it, is Cameron Jordan. I mean, this guy, one of the best defensive linemen in the league. Doesn't get a lot of credit because he doesn't have the flashy sack numbers. But this guy plays the run really well. He gets, he averages 13 sacks a season. This guy is a monster up front. This year he made the All-Pro team, but I think none of the media is really giving him the attention he deserves. And a lot of people don't know about him. But on that last drive, this guy was a freaking monster. I mean, he was just running over tackles. He made the game-saving sack. The intentional grounding play was also Cam Jordan. This guy is a monster, and I think he's going to be a real factor come playoff time. I mean, come Sunday in the division round.
He's a huge factor for that defense. He's the MVP of that defense, in my opinion.
I think he definitely is.
So definitely Minnesota Vikings need to make sure to block.
Kind of moving on to next week, we're going to give some breakdowns of next week's games. I think the first game that I think you want to talk about would be Philadelphia Eagles, Atlanta Falcons.
I personally think the Falcons are going to dominate.
You think so?
But it's all right. When I say dominate, this is my score prediction. It's not going to sound like domination, but I'm going to say the Falcons win 20-7. I just feel like offensively with Nick Foles as the quarterback, the Eagles they're just not dangerous as they would with Carson Wentz. But I gave their defense, but that's why I think the Falcons are only going to score 20 points. It's because Philadelphia's defense is phenomenal.
And it's at Philly too.
But they're going to be tired. I think eventually, the first half, you could see the score only being like 7-3 or something like that, or 7-7. But I just see eventually the Eagles' defense is just going to be able to feel too much, and they're going to get too tired.
So I think going with your prediction, I kind of want to ask you. I'll give my prediction in a minute, but I kind of want to ask you, with Philadelphia not having Carson Wentz and Nick Foles starting, what do you think needs to happen for the Philadelphia Eagles to win this game? Like, what needs to happen for
Nick Foles needs to be a game manager, and also the running game needs to be great. Jay Ajayi and Leonard Gabriel need to be great, and then Nick Foles needs to be great on play action passes and just keep moving the ball consistently. Nobody's asking you to go out there and throw 300 yards, but go out there and throw like 220 with maybe a touchdown and let your running game do the rest. So when I think of all that, I consider their line needs to be huge. You have he's not inexperienced quarterback. He has experience playing, but in this situation, he's inexperienced. I think you need to just protect him, give him time to throw the ball, and he needs to just be calm, read everything, and don't try to be a hero. Just manage the game. Take your 5-yard passes, your 3-yard passes, and just consistently keep moving the ball.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's going to make the Eagles' offense successful.
So my prediction is I'm going to also go with the Falcons, but I this is a tough game for me because I feel like the Philadelphia Eagles are going to come in. They're going to be fired up. A lot of the guys in the media have been trash talking this team because they don't have Carson Wentz, and I think they're going to use that as bulletin board material. I don't think it's going to be a dominant game. I think it's going to be very low scoring. I'm going to say Falcons 14-10. I think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to compete a lot, and I just think my prediction is going to be I think Nick Foles is going to make a crucial turnover towards the end of the game, and really to end it, I think the Falcons win on a crucial Nick Foles turnover.
I can see that happen. I absolutely can see that happening.
But for me, the Eagles, for them to win, I believe they have to win the turnover battle. If they can get 2 or 3 turnovers against the Falcons and not turn the ball over themselves and give themselves extra opportunities on offense to get points and at least kick field goals and just put points on the board and let their defense win this game, I think they have a really good shot. And I think this game's going to be very competitive, not like a lot of people think. But at the end of the day, I think the Falcons, with their experience, I think they're just going to come out on top in a slight margin.
I agree. Obviously, I agree. But moving on to the night game, I feel like this game we really don't need to talk about as much. Patriots versus Titans.
One word, my prediction, Patriots dominate over with. Your prediction?
I agree. Patriots dominate. I'm going to go final score. I'm going to say 31-14. I just feel, they're the Patriots. Tennessee, great comeback win last week. That was great. I'm so happy for Marcus Mariota, that team, for getting a win, but this is the New England Patriots. You give Bill Belichick 2
Yeah.
weeks. Tom Brady 2 weeks to prepare for this game.
Patriots are going to dominate this game. I don't think it's going to be close. My prediction is going to be 24-6.
So we pretty much both predict domination.
It's the really the Titans shouldn't have won that game last week. They
Chiefs gave it up.
Yeah, so that's why I think Patriots are just gonna.
It was a good win for the Titans to build on for the future, but the Patriots, they've just been here. They're too good, too
talented. And I think the
talented
Patriots are a little pissed off about all this talk in the media about them having some rifts in their front office.
Yeah, I think they got something to prove.
So I think they're going to let a lot of anger out on this Titans
agree,
team,
especially Tom Brady.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Patriots dominate this game personally.
So next game up, we got Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Who you got?
I want to say the Jaguars. It'd be a nice little upset pick, but Blake Bortles is the quarterback.
Yeah.
No, I think Steelers win this game.
I'm gonna go Steelers, but I think it's gonna be a blowout. I really don't think this game's gonna be close. Week 5.
I could absolutely see that because Blake Bortles is not a good quarterback.
I think Week 5, the Jacksonville Jaguars beat this team up pretty badly. I think Ben Roethlisberger had one of the worst games of his career.
That's back with that time where he was thinking, maybe I'm just done.
Right.
Man.
So I think he's going to come out ready to prove that he's still Ben Roethlisberger, and I think he's going to light him up. I look for Jacksonville to stay in the game in the first half. I think second half comes around, it's just going to open up. I have Pittsburgh winning 24-3.
Jeez, man, 3 points.
That's Blake Bortles a quarterback, man. They can't move the ball up and down the field.
I'm gonna go Steelers win 27-13. I just think Blake Bortles won't do enough to get it done. Before that, I think he could have a solid game. But with Antonio Brown being back, that offense is just going to light it up. And
Yeah, I think so too.
And as great as their defense is, same situation basically with the Eagles.
They're going to be on the
defense
field.
is going to be on the field.
Yeah.
You get Ben Roethlisberger with all those weapons, plenty of time to read a defense and figure out their weak spots. He's going to tear them apart. He's been there. He's done this. He's a Super Bowl champion.
I'll ask you the same question about the Falcons game. For Jacksonville to win, what has to happen?
Blake Bortles needs to play well.
I think he needs to throw 2 touchdown passes.
I think he does too.
Yeah.
I think he needs to throw over 200 yards passing.
Me too. I definitely agree. I think they got to move the ball up and down the field and just hopefully get their
This ain't even a
defensive
question.
rest.
Jaguars can win this game if Blake Bortles plays
They
well.
absolutely can win this game. And I really want to pick them. But if what I saw last week,
exactly. How can I pick them after what he just did last
look,
week?
in week 17, I know they lost in week 17, but look, after that, going into the playoffs, I had them going to the AFC Championship game. But after last week, I just don't see it. So,
I don't see it either. They're just Blake Bortles looked awful.
Yeah.
There's no way I could pick them to win this game. So, yeah, Steelers, no doubt in my mind.
Absolutely.
But
I'm ready
moving
for this.
on to the next one.
I'm ready for this next game, baby.
Saints versus the Vikings. Who you like?
Oh man. If y'all watched last week's show, I said Minnesota going to the Super Bowl, but Saints, baby, Saints.
Oh, of course.
I like the Saints,
Of course.
baby. Look, I know I picked the Vikings going to the Super Bowl, but I think this team, I think they're hungry. Like I said earlier in the show, this defense is very hungry. Their youth is showing that they're not making a lot of mistakes, but man, I believe in this team. This might be the best Saints team all around that I've seen in 22
It's
years.
very talented. It's a very talented Saints
And
team.
I think, look, Case Keenum, I think is going to show his true colors on Sunday. I think Cam Jordan's going to get to him, look for him to have a couple sacks, and I just think that the Saints, if they can, like I said, I had this feeling last week. The Saints put up 30 points against Carolina. If they put up 21 points against the Minnesota Vikings, I think they win this football game. Because of the offensive inefficiencies that the Vikings have, I think the Saints win this football game, and I think the Falcons come back to New Orleans in an NFC showdown to go to the Super Bowl.
That'd be an exciting matchup.
I'm ready for it.
That's the matchup I hope for, but not so fast. I have the Minnesota Vikings winning this week. I just feel their defense is just. They're one of the best defenses in the league. It's at Minnesota. That crowd's gonna be super loud.
It's gonna be tough task.
I think it's gonna be a close game. I don't think either one of these teams is way better than the other one. I'm gonna go Vikings 24-20. I just feel their defense is gonna do enough. Case Keenum is gonna do what I think Nick Foles should do, but I don't think he will. But he's gonna manage the football game. McKinnon and Matt Murray are gonna have solid games. Diggs and Thielen are also gonna have very solid games. I don't think they're gonna have any. With the y'all secondary, I don't think they're gonna have a big touchdown pass. I just think they're just gonna be moving the ball, gradually up the field.
Look, the first game you had Stephon Diggs torch us for a lot of yards,
Yeah,
and
he had a big
D-line
game.
had a big game. But there's one difference
Crawley
from that
wasn't
game.
playing. Devontae
Exactly.
Harris, the trash can, was playing.
Exactly. So, and Devontae Harris is not even on the football team anymore.
He's not on anybody's football
So,
team.
I think this Saints team is gonna be a lot different, and I think they're gonna stop this offense from moving the ball down the field. And I think the Saints win 20-17, and moving on to the playoffs. I'm ready for it.
I'm not gonna lie. The matchup I hope for is the Falcons with the Saints, just because it'd be a fun week leading up.
I think a big factor in this game, and I think the difference maker in this game, like you said, is going to be can the Vikings move the ball down the field in this defense, and I think the big X factor for me is going to be that defensive line. Can they pressure Case Keenum? But I actually think that the Saints have something to their sleeve game plan wise. I think they have a gadget play. I think they get a gadget play to work in this game, maybe to go for a long touchdown, and I think that could be the difference in the game.
It could be. If the Saints win, it wouldn't surprise me, because like I said, they're both, I think, equally when it comes.
Look, if this game was played on a neutral field, I think it's Saints, no doubt.
I just think the Vikings at home have some huge advantage.
That's gonna be the tough.
If this game was in New Orleans, I would
part.
pick y'all, no questions asked. But I think it just being in Minnesota, it gives them an advantage with the crowd and everything.
Yep, I'm ready for the Saints though, and I know a lot of people down here are ready for this game. And like I said earlier in the show, Saints football is back, and I'm just ready for the game and this next couple of seasons to shape out.
Oh yeah, the Saints have a lot to look forward to for the future to come.
So kind of quickly to close out NFL news, I feel like we have to talk about my man John Gruden back in the NFL. And I want to ask you, I think everybody knows this is a good hire, and usually we talk about whether it's a good hire or not. But I think for me, I just want to know, how do you feel? Do you think he can win again? Can he win another Super Bowl with this Raiders team?
I think he can, but I got to see it. Like, I think it's a great hire for Mike Davis' standpoint. Way to go out there and get a big name as your head football coach.
Right.
I think the players are going to get excited to play, especially Derek Carr. Being at his quarterback camp a few years ago.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be I think the players are going to be excited to have him, and he's a great football mind. I mean, he's been in the box watching football for, how many years has it been now?
I think it's been 9 years.
And then he was a coach for all that time before it.
Yeah.
He's smart. He knows football. And I think he's definitely going to make the Raiders, he's going to bring them back to playoffs.
I think he's going to do great things with the Raiders. I love the hire. I think it's bold.
The Raiders are a young team, too. He could build that team up.
And I think he has a good relationship with some of the guys in that system when they come through the draft. Definitely the Gruden quarterback camps, like you said, with Derek Carr. And, I think he's going to really do great things with the Raiders, and I think they're going to be a contender in a couple years. Maybe next year. I think next year. I think next year they make the playoffs, but I think in 2 years, the season after
Let's
that.
Let's not forget, last year they finished the year 12-4.
Exactly.
What killed them last year was Derek Carr going down.
Right. This team has talent to be a contender in the AFC, and I think he's going to take them over the edge.
I hope so. He was a great hire, and I love listening to John Gruden on Monday Night Football.
I think that's the part where I'm glad to see him back in the NFL, but man, I'm kind of disappointed we're not going to be able to hear him on Monday Night Football.
I know, I'm going to miss him on Monday Night Football. It was always fun listening to him and his analysts.
And his Gruden grinders.
Gruden grinder. Oh, I'm going to miss him. But great hire for the Raiders, and I think big things are coming for Oakland.
Yeah, me too.
Las Vegas, really. But to close out our show, as always, start of the week. Who you got?
Like I said, we talked about earlier in the show. Got to go Tagovailoa from the Alabama Crimson Tide. Go get it, young fella, coming in this game. As the backup to Jalen Hurts, and he really came in the game in the second half and really took this team over the edge. And I think he is really who is responsible for this comeback and for Alabama getting their another national championship on that banner to add to their stadium. And I just got to give you your stats real quick: 14-24, 166 yards, 3 touchdown passes, 1 interception. And I just think that next year, look for him to be a Heisman Trophy candidate. But for now, he's my start of the week.
Yeah, just keep in mind that was all just in one half, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly.
He did that in one half.
Exactly.
I think it's great to the week. He's definitely Alabama found their quarterback for the future.
Absolutely.
And he'll be. I think with everything all of the things he can do, he'll be playing on Sundays in the near future.
I think so. Your start of the week,
man. After what he just did to the Kansas City Chiefs, it's gotta be Derrick Henry.
Man, we're going a lot of Crimson Tide on this show tonight.
Gotta feed the beast. 23 carries, 156 yards, a touchdown. In the first half, you kind of saw they were trying to really throw the ball a lot. In the second half, they fed the beast, and boy, did he take advantage of those carries.
I think he proved that he needs to be the starter. Let DeMarco Murray go.
Let DeMarco Murray go. You have your running back of the future. Just let him go. Derrick Henry proved that he's hungry,
and he can be a workhorse.
Oh, with his body size, yeah, he could take the hits with no problems asked.
Absolutely.
And he's a younger version and a cheaper version of DeMarco Murray. So definitely, he's definitely a stud of the weekend. But like I said earlier, I think Tennessee loses this week. But what a great performance for him this past week against the Chiefs.
Absolutely, it's another great show, man.
Another great show, and we appreciate everybody that listens and spreads the word about our show. It really means a lot to us. We are definitely going to keep doing this for a while. We do not plan on stopping doing this. We We love doing this. We
We're
love
committed.
talking to y'all. We appreciate all of our fans. And just keep listening every week.
Look, man, we're excited about what we're coming up with. We're trying to make every show interesting and better. This is a dream of ours. We really want to get this thing moving, and we just hope that you enjoy everything that we're doing. And just tell your friends and just keep watching. We're trying to, like I said, we're trying to get better. And we're gonna put great shows together. We're committed to this, and we're gonna keep going. And thank you to everybody who supported us. And just look forward to more episodes and hope to hear back from you. We would love to hear y'all's feedback. We want to hear what we're doing good, what we're doing bad, and just what we need to improve on.
Absolutely.
Just tell us how our show's going, and we'll take it from there.
Yep, absolutely. And as always, who's your shout out of the week?
Shout out JSAB.
Gotta love it. Shout out JSAB, baby. And as always, good night, America.